Okay, this video is on multiplying binomials. The last thing that we learned. Alright, something's wrong here. I don't know what. Alright, we have negative 8r plus 1 times 6r plus 5. Now, remember what this means. We have to multiply the terms inside this parenthesis times the terms inside this parenthesis. So the way I've showed you to do it in class is we're going to take this first term, negative 8r, and we're going to multiply it by this second parenthesis, 6r plus 5. Then we're going to take this second term, plus 1, and we're going to multiply it by the second parenthesis, 6r plus 5. Okay? So we're taking this 8 in this first part times everything in the second parenthesis. And then we're taking the 1. If I had more terms, I would have a longer line here, but nothing else changes. So now, when we multiply, we're just distributing. Negative 8r times 6r is negative 48 r squared. Don't forget, r times r is r squared. Negative 8r times 5 is minus 40r. Now we have to distribute the 1. 1 times 6r is plus 6r, and 1 times 5 is plus 5. The last step in doing this is to combine these like terms. And if you follow this method, these like terms will always come in the middle. It's negative 48 r squared. Now, careful of signs. Negative 40 and positive 6 is negative 34r plus 5. And that's your final answer. Now, some of you, it helps you to see it this way. This first piece right here, what I'm doing is taking the 8r times that, and the 8r times that term. Then this second piece here, I'm taking the 1 times the 6r, and the 1 times the 5, because what this really means is multiply everything inside this parenthesis times everything inside this parenthesis. And if you practice and pay attention, you'll see a definite pattern with that. Okay, so I'm going to give you one to try. That's very similar. Let's do v minus 3 times negative 5v plus 3. Okay, pause the video and go ahead and multiply that out. And I want to talk about the pattern when you're done. Okay, so let's look at the final answer. We're not going to do all the steps. I want to look at the final answer because I want you to start looking for patterns. Your first term in your final answer, whenever you multiply these binomials, except for the special cases that we looked at with the difference of a perfect square, you end up with 3 terms in your final answer, right? Your answers have been quadratic trinomials. This first term comes from v, the first 2. The first thing in this parenthesis times that. So v times negative 5v is negative 5v squared. Your last term comes from this last term in this parenthesis times this. It's a negative 3 times a positive 3 is negative 9. You guys see that. Now the middle term is the one that I want you to look at for the pattern, and what happens is you take, you know what, I'm going to get those other rows out of there. Shoot, I can't do it that way. I got an idea. Let's put them back in. Let's try this. I can get that out of there, I think, because I think it gets all bunchy and confusing, and I really need you to understand this. There we go. That'll get most of it out anyway, right? Alright, so what we're looking at is, where does that middle term come from? And some of you have probably already seen the pattern and realized it. Okay? So, when I take the v times 3, that gives me 3v. And when I take negative 3 times negative 5, that gives me positive 15v. I add those two together, and that's where I'm combining the like terms for a positive 18v. and there's your answer. And if you can start to get this pattern down, the first and last term are usually easy. Getting that center term down will speed you up in the process. Okay, so I'm going to give you one to try and see if you can do the middle term without writing the whole thing out. Forgot to give myself something to write on there. Okay, so I have negative 4b minus 8 times negative 4b minus 1. Okay, go ahead, see if you can figure this one out. Pause the video. Okay, you think you got it? Negative 4b times negative 1, remember a negative times a negative is a positive, gives me, oh, I just totally screwed up, you guys. Negative 4b times negative 4b is positive 16b squared. There's my first term. Negative 8 times negative 1 is positive 8. There's my last term. Then I'm going to say, this is where I do that, what I jump to. Negative 4b times negative 1 is 4b. Negative 8 times negative 4b is 32b. So my center term is positive 36b, and there's your answer. Okay, I'm going to attach a document where you can practice these so that you're ready for the test. Remember, this is a really important skill to master to make Unit 8 a lot easier. I've decided I'm putting review videos on my webpage.
You want to see them?
Thanks. I think I might need a hard-boiled egg. Is it getting any better?